Ever wondered how a single story can change your perspective? You're in the right place at Wisdom Audiobook Studio. Hit like and subscribe so you never miss a life-changing audiobook.
Okay, let's dive into this. If you just look around for a second, everywhere you turn, you're kind of encouraged, maybe even pushed into consuming these tiny, really fast bits of information.
Yeah, they're built for speed, right? For that instant hit.
Exactly. Engineered to keep you maybe entertained, sometimes a little bit outraged, but crucially, they seem designed to stop you from just sitting down and, thinking deeply.
And if you're looking for like a survival guide in this crazy environment of constant info and distraction, well, you might have to turn to a pretty surprising source, Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451.
Written over 70 years ago.
Yeah, over 70 years ago. And today, it doesn't read so much like sci-fi, more like a user manual for spotting how distraction works in our society right now.
And that's really our mission here. This isn't just a book summary. We want to pull out the core ideas, let's call it forbidden knowledge from the text.
Mm-hmm.
We want to figure out what Bradbury saw as, well, essential for a curious, free mind, and maybe how we can use that to break free from that endless scroll.
To really get that, though, we have to step into the world of 451 first. It's a genuinely scary place.
But not in the usual ways, right? Not poverty or some obvious dictatorship.
No, exactly. It's terrifying because everyone seems so willingly compliant, just numb. This is the world where firemen, like our main guy, Guy Montag, they don't put fires out.
They start them.
They start them. They burn books. Books are the most illegal things you can possibly own.
And the key to understanding that compliance, I think, is Montag's wife, Mildred. She's the perfect citizen, the ideal consumer in this world.
Absolutely. She spends her entire day just glued to her parlor walls.
Which are basically giant TV screens, right? Covering whole walls.
Yeah, streaming these endless interactive soap operas. And she actually calls the characters, these digital avatars, her family. It's quite chilling.
And when she's not lost in the parlor walls.
Then she's got these things Bradbury called seashell radios stuck in her ears. Tiny little things.
Like earbuds.
Pretty much exactly like earbuds, yeah. Just pumping this constant stream of noise, music, ads, whatever the algorithm feeds her, right into her head. No silence. Ever.
It's just incredible foresight. Bradbury wrote this way before smartphones, before nonstop streaming. Those parlor walls Mildred pays to install everywhere. That's our phones, our Netflix accounts.
And the seashell radios are absolutely our earbuds, our noise-canceling headphones, filling every quiet moment with, something, a podcast, music, a feed.
So what Bradbury really feared wasn't necessarily the government burning books from the top down.
No, he feared something maybe more insidious. The people would just stop wanting to read, that they'd start demanding comfort, demanding easy entertainment over anything challenging.
It's like this feedback loop he saw coming. We pay for the very distractions that make us less curious, trading anything deep for quick, shallow hits.
And people just become numb. That numbness is the key. It makes them controllable.
So how does this start to break down? Our way in is Guy Montag himself. He's a fireman, and at the start, he actually loves his job.
Yeah, he loves the smell of the kerosene, the power, the spectacle of burning.
But then, too, sort of simple things happen that just shatter that reality for him.
The first is meeting Clarissa McClellan. She's this 17-year-old girl next door. And she's considered antisocial by everyone.
Why? Because she actually walks places.
Pretty much. She walks, she notices things like the smell of rain. She looks at the moon. She doesn't just talk about what's on the parlor walls. And she asks these simple but devastatingly complex question.
And she asks Montag that killer question, are you happy?
Mm-hmm. So simple. But it just hits him.
Like a physical blow. He realizes, maybe for the first time, that he's deeply, profoundly unhappy. But he hadn't even noticed the emptiness until she made him stop and think.
He hadn't had the space to notice. And the second shock.
The old woman. They get a call to go burn her house, her secret library.
Right. And she refuses to leave. She has all these hidden books.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of letting the firemen just do their job, she lights the match herself.
She becomes a martyr for the words, for the ideas in those books.
That act of defiance, that total commitment to knowledge, even forbidden knowledge, that's what pushes Montag over the edge. He steals one of her books right before it all goes up in flames.
So these two moments, Clarissa's quiet question and the woman's violent act of rebellion, they point us to the first big lesson, right? The revolutionary power of just being genuinely curious.
Absolutely. Clarice is dangerous not because she breaks laws, but because she wants real connection, real thought, instead of the screen-fed stuff.
It makes you think about the kinds of questions we ask or are encouraged to ask.
Yeah, you can sort of divide them. There are the safe questions in 451's world, and maybe ours too. The what questions.
What's trending? What's on tonight? What's the latest news bite?
Exactly. Those keep you consuming, keep you inside the loop, clicking the next thing.
But then there's the dangerous question, why?
Why is this trending? Why do I believe this thing I believe? Why is the world set up this way?
Why requires depth. It makes you stop consuming and start thinking, introspecting.
And that, as Bradbury shows us, is the absolute enemy of any system built on keeping people passively comfortable and distracted.
You even see how they engineered the society to remove opportunities for that kind of thought.
Right. They got rid of front porches, those places where people used to just sit and talk and maybe watch the world go by slowly.
And walking. Clarice is weird because she walks. Everyone else drives beetle-fast cars everywhere.
Yeah, they basically designed out any chance for slow, reflective time, unplanned interactions. Everything had to be fast, efficient, no downtime allowed.
Okay, so curiosity is the spark. It wakes Montag up. But that leads us straight to the big defense of burning the books. Who explains why they have to burn?
That falls to Captain Beatty, Montag's fire chief. And this gives us the second huge insight. This whole system, this control, it was self-inflicted. It's the comfort trap.
Self-inflicted how?
Beatty gives Montag this long, frankly terrifying explanation. He says the firemen weren't some top-down invention by the government. Society demanded them. The people themselves got rid of the books.
But why? Why would people do that?
Because books caused friction. And friction caused unhappiness. That's Beatty's logic.
Hold on, though. Isn't some friction good? Isn't optimization good? I mean, today, platforms try to give us information faster, better, tailored to us. Isn't that just making things more efficient?
Well, Bradbury's answer, through Beatty, is chillingly simple. That kind of optimization, when it's solely focused on comfort and avoiding offense, leads directly to censorship. Self-censorship, even.
How so?
Beatty points out that as life sped up shorter attention spans, faster media cycles books just felt too slow, too complicated, and, critically, too offensive.
Offensive?
Yeah, they made people think differently. They sparked disagreements. Beatty actually says that eventually every little minority group found something in some book that offended them.
So rather than deal with the arguments, the discomfort.
They just removed the source. They smoothed everything out, homogenized it all, got rid of the friction points.
And Beatty is crystal clear about the goal. It's just passive, nonstop comfort. He actually says, if you don't want a man unhappy politically, don't give him two sides to a question, give him one. Better yet, give him none.
Terrifying, isn't it? The idea became that real happiness means avoiding anything difficult, anything nuanced, just endless entertainment, constant ease.
And that, Bradbury warns, is the poison. The second we choose being comfortable all the time over being challenged or curious.
We willingly numb ourselves. We become manageable. They didn't need to actively suppress truth. They just needed to flood the world with so much easy, engaging trivia that truth became, well, irrelevant. Too much effort.
Okay, so Montag's awake now. He sees the danger of just passively consuming, but he's also scared. He's got this stolen book, but he has no idea what to do with it.
Right. He realizes just having the book isn't the answer. You need the tools, the ability to understand it, which leads him to seek out Faber.
The retired English professor, hiding out.
Exactly. And Faber gives him the final, really crucial piece of the puzzle. He explains that the magic isn't the book itself, the paper and ink.
It's what's inside them, the qualities they contain that society threw away.
And Faber boils it down to three essential qualities of real, valuable knowledge, things that were lost.
Okay, let's break these down, because these feel like the core of the survival kit for today. The first is quality.
Quality, yeah. Faber calls it the pores, the texture, the detailed fabric of life itself.
Meaning
Complexity. It means knowledge that isn't simple or easy. It's often messy, maybe contradictory, and it takes real effort to grapple with. It doesn't give you neat answers or tidy little summaries.
it reflects actual life, which isn't a 30-second clip.
Precisely. When we only consume things that are perfectly smooth, perfectly agreeable, perfectly short, we lose that texture. We lose the pores of reality.
Okay, quality. What's the second essential?
The second is leisure. And Faber doesn't just mean time off work.
Right, because Montag might have time off, but he's still got those seashells pumping noise in his ears.
Exactly. Leisure here means the mental space to actually digest that complex quality information. If your brain is constantly bombarded, even if you're technically free, you have no room for reflection, no space to let ideas sink in.
It's about mental white space. You could be holding the deepest book ever written, but if you're twitching to check your phone or still buzzing from the last feed,
You lack the leisure needed to absorb it. Real knowledge needs digestion time. That's why Clarisse just walking and thinking was so radical. She created her own leisure.
makes sense. Quality, leisure, what's the third?
The third is action. The right to act on what you learned from the first two.
Oh, okay, so knowledge isn't just for storage.
Not at all, according to Faber. Knowledge without action is inert. It's pointless, just more data piling up. If you read something profound about injustice, say, but it doesn't
Well-
change how you behave, how you interact with the world.
Then you haven't really learned it. It hasn't become part of you.
Exactly, it's just trivia. And those kinds of books, the poetry, the history, the philosophy, they were burned because they demand quality time, they demand leisure for thought, and they implicitly demand action or change. They build empathy. They force you to see different perspectives.
They stop people from becoming empty shells like Mildred, basically.
That's the idea. They grow your soul, for lack of a better word.
So, bringing this all together, this deep dive into a book from, 70 years ago, what does it really mean for you listening now?
I think the core message is pretty stark, actually. Seeking depth, real depth, is an act of rebellion today. Thinking for yourself is rebellion.
And the fight starts really small. It starts with where you consciously choose to put your attention.
Turning off the parlor wall, even for a bit. Taking a walk without the earbuds. Picking up something to read that might actually be difficult.
And remembering that Bradbury wrote this not necessarily to predict the future, gloom and doom style, but to prevent it. It was a warning.
And Montag's journey shows it's never too late to wake up. The moment you choose reflection, choose curiosity over that easy passive comfort, the whole numbing system starts to wobble, at least within yourself.
We arguably have it easier than the rebels in the book, right? They had to literally memorize entire books to save them.
Yeah, a much harder task. We just have to make the choice to engage, to read, to think critically, and crucially, to let that knowledge actually change us somehow.
So maybe we leave you with a final thought. Going back to Clarisse, back to where Montag's awakening began, her power was in asking that simple, destabilizing question.
Right. So building on that, maybe ask yourself, how often today do you consciously choose the uncomfortable why over the easy, quick what?
And maybe think about this. What conversation or observation or piece of truly complex knowledge are you going to prioritize today, maybe even right now, to help save your own mind from the allure of the parlor wall?